In this unit, we're going to talk about the chemical structure of organic molecules. And you might be wondering, what's an organic molecule? That's any molecule that contains carbon. That's pretty simple, right? It can also contain other things like oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, and all kinds of other molecules. The name of the building blocks for organic molecules are monomers. Many monomers are linked together to form polymers. So the mono part in monomer tells you that it's one, so that's like one unit. And the poly part means many, and that tells you that it's many together. A whole molecule is an example of a polymer. There are four types of organic molecules: carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. So we're going to talk about each of these in turn. Carbohydrates are the first group. They're made only of carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen. So they're pretty simple, but they can form lots of interesting complex things. The monomer of a carbohydrate we call a monosaccharide, and one example is glucose. The polymer of a carbohydrate we call a polysaccharide, and one example is starch, which you might have had for dinner last night if you had potatoes. Lipids are an interesting group of molecules because they're grouped together for their hydrophobic properties. That means that they're afraid of water, they won't interact with water. Other than that, they don't have a lot of other things in common. But some examples of lipids that are common are waxes, which form water barriers in the living things that they're part of, fats, which are for energy storage, phospholipids, which are for they're important for cell membranes, and we'll see them again when we talk about cell membranes in detail. And steroids are also lipids. Proteins are another class of organic molecules. We call protein monomers amino acids. And we put several of them together to make the polymer, which we call a polypeptide. And for proteins, there's a special name for the bond that holds amino acids together. We call this a peptide bond. Proteins have lots of different functions. Most of the enzymes in your body are proteins. They're important for defense, like your antibodies, and they're important for muscle fibers, like you find in the steak that you might want to have for lunch after you're done watching this. And then, this brings us to nucleic acids. The monomer of a nucleic acid is a nucleotide. And there are two types, which you've probably heard of, but maybe not the whole name. Deoxyribonucleic acid, which is DNA, and ribonucleic acid, which is RNA. The primary function of nucleic acids is information storage. And these pictures here are just three different ways of looking at a DNA molecule. So nucleotides are nucleic acid monomers, and there are actually 5 types. 4 of them are shown here. And each nucleotide has several basic parts. It's got a nitrogen base, a sugar, and a phosphate group. So there are 5 types of nitrogen bases: adenine, thymine, which is only found in DNA, uracil, which is only found in RNA, cytosine, and guanine. So your sugar is going to be deoxyribose if you're talking about a DNA molecule, and ribose if you're talking about an RNA molecule. And then you've also got the phosphate group. So this picture here shows you 4 of the nitrogenous bases that we find in DNA: adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. Uracil is not pictured here. So this picture shows you how nucleotides are joined together in a DNA molecule. So this is one strand of a DNA molecule, and this is another strand, because when you put 2 strands of DNA molecules together, you get the double helix, which we will talk more about later. So for one nucleotide, you have the nitrogenous base, and you have the sugar, and you have the phosphate group. So all of this here is one nitrogenous base. And then you've got another one over here, and this is for guanine. So the nitrogenous bases are joined together in between the 2 strands of DNA, and these bonds right here are hydrogen bonds. So a little bit more about nucleic acids. The sugar and the phosphate that are found in a nitrogen base form the backbone of the DNA molecule. The nucleotides are paired, and we call this a base pair, so that DNA and RNA strands are complementary. So A always bonds with T or U, C always bonds with G. And this means that you can use each strand of DNA as a template to make the other strand. Base pairs, again, are joined in the center by hydrogen bonds. Here's another example showing you the nucleic acids bound together in the middle with the hydrogen bonds and the sugar phosphate backbones.